Welcome to the Masters of Basketball, alongside with Chris Ramirez and Lahh, bringing you another segment. How's it going today, Lahh?
It's going great today. Beautiful weather here in sunny New York City, and hoping that you have an opportunity to get out and enjoy some of that sunshine out in Phoenix.
Yes, it's definitely warm, nice and warm out here in Phoenix as well. And definitely it's Easter weekend, Good Friday. We got some NBA playoff basketball we're gonna briefly talk about. Got some other good things to discuss about the Masters basketball tournament, and I got my new release of the top 5 New York City basketball players for the class of 1988, and that we're gonna nominate that later in the show.
Oh, that sounds great. Tell us a little more about what's been going on in local hoops before we get into any of these subjects.
Well, before we get into that, I want to take a moment to honor a longtime associate, very part of the New York basketball community, Mr. Herb Tereski. Mr. Tereski, he was a official scorer for the Nets when they started out in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum when they were in the ABA back in 1967, 54 years as an official scorer. And he followed them from New York to New Jersey to Brooklyn, retiring in 2021. They have the score tables named after him. Plus, he was very involved in the community with the Pro-Am League. And they have the I can't pronounce it, the Cutchess tournament, upstate New York. He was a part of that. A great supporter of New York City basketball. He'll be greatly missed.
Now, did you have an opportunity to work with Mr. Tereski? Tell us a little more about your interaction with the Pro-Am.
Yeah, my interaction with Mr. Tereski, I just knew him. We worked together in the Pro-Am League back in the early 80s. He was like a coordinator for the league, and we just worked together for a brief period of time. He started to come around, visiting the league. Plus, he coached with Dr. Harvey Lusting. They took a team to France with some of the top players in New York City, with Hollis Copeland, Reggie Carter, Craig Robinson, who was Michelle Obama's brother.
Wow.
Also, a whole lot of top stars from New York City went on tour to France, went to other foreign countries, and just want to pay my condolences to the Tereski family.
Hey, Chris, you got all the memories, you got all the history coming out of the tri-state area, and we're going to make sure that we do a follow-up on this story and a number of other stories. But what else has been happening in the world of hoops?
Yes, we want to congratulate the Kansas Jayhawks, who
That's right.
won the NCAA championship, coming from down 15 points at halftime to beat North Carolina 72-69. Ochai Agbaji was named the most outstanding player in the Final Four and the NCAA championship. The great guard play and the great defense brought them back. And
yes,
salute to the Kansas Jayhawks.
Hey, listen, I thought the game was over at halftime.
Me too.
I figured it was going to be a blowout. I figured if they're up at 15 at half, there's no way that anybody's going to be coming back. Kansas was not executing. They looked shook. They looked like they were a little nervous on the big stage, but to my surprise, they rallied, they tightened up the defense, they started converting baskets and turned their game completely around.
Yes, guard play. They wasn't doing that in the first half. They went back to their game plan that worked for them throughout the season. Well executed. Kudos to the Jayhawks.
Yeah, congrats to Kansas. And what's going on with this NBA playoffs coming up here?
Yeah.
It's upon us.
Well, tonight we have the play-in games. In the Eastern Conference, you had the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Whoever wins that game will take on the Miami Heat. Then you have the Phoenix Suns will play tonight's playing games between the LA Clippers and the New Orleans Pelicans.
Right.
And then the playoffs will be starting tomorrow. Got some good matchups here, as you see in the Eastern Conference. You have, we just discussed the Miami Heat. We've got the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean, you're talking about the Heat. Hey, Chris, if you can't stand the Heat, get out the kitchen. All right. With the Heat and the Cavs, who you picking? Pick one.
I like the Heat. I like the Heat in this series.
Okay, so the Cavs, Hawks, they'll decide that, and you like the Heat. Celtics, Nets, who you like?
For the Brooklyn, I like the Celtics to win in 7 games.
Not gonna happen. All right, Bucks versus the Bulls. Who you got?
I like Milwaukee. I think they're coming around. They got their mojo back. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the Greek Freak, MVP candidate again. I like the Bucks in a 5-game series. The Bulls with DeMar DeRozan. I love doing very well this year, but unfortunately, with the injuries of Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball, it's just gonna hinder them from going further in the playoffs.
It's gonna be tough. All right, Sixers, Raptors. Who you got?
This is a 7-game series. I'm gonna say the Sixers are gonna win. Right now, I still have question marks. I like Joel Embiid having a good season. MVP candidates, I'd question that, but I think he's working on, he's getting the job done. But Harden, right now, are we going to see him showing up? That's the
question everyone's been asking. Now, just give me 2 teams out of the West. I know you're really good with these predictions, and you're very organized, but you took a beating in your brackets last year in that NCAA, last month in the NCAA, man. I mean, you really must be off your mark. Let's see if you're back on your game. Give me 2 teams coming out of the West.
2 teams coming out the West. I like the Phoenix Suns. And in the West, and the other team, I have to say Memphis. But Phoenix is going to be so dominant. They got a chip on their shoulder. You talk about Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Devin Booker is my MVP.
No argument. I like the Warriors. I think they're going to regroup, but hey, we will find out shortly. Little bit about Masters basketball. The Masters basketball experience concluded. We just had an incredible tournament out in Wayne, New Jersey at the DePaul Garden. All age 60 and over athletes participated in the 2022 North Jersey Masters Easter Classic. And when the smoke cleared, it was the front court Masters team that was able to successfully be crowned champs for the Easter Classic. We had players that came down from throughout the tri-state area, also a player or 2 from Boston and Philly. So some really good games were played out there.
Excellent.
And also participating teams were the North Jersey Senior Citizens League 60 team All-Stars, and we also had the New York Senior Citizens League All-Stars, and we also had Simba Capital, who's always tough. They're an emerging national powerhouse coming out of the New Jersey area, and it was a great time. The MVP for the series was Reginald Steele, very solid ball player out of Sullivan Community College. Sullivan, a number of years ago. And it's just a good time, Chris, see all the athletes getting out there and competing. What are your thoughts?
Hey, great basketball showing that the OGs still got it in them. They can handle the rock, score, making buckets. For those who want to participate, you think you still got game, check out frontcourtmasters.com. It's very interesting. It's a lot of fellowshipping, connecting with other people, building relationships. That's what it's all about.
I totally agree. Stay involved, stay in shape, and stay alive.
Definitely.
All right. What we got here, Chris? Top 5 New York City players for the class of 1988. Now, this is a tough decision with so many great ball players coming out of the New York City area, but in the future, we're going to have to do some other cities. I mean, we got to do Chicago, LA, parts of Florida. Come on now.
We could, yeah, definitely. Like I said, there's a lot of this was a tough decision because this is for people. These are the class of 1988 players who graduated in the class of 1988. That year was a great year. So many good underclassmen players, pretty much dominated that scene. But we're going to nominate those 5 players who stood out in that senior class of 1988. My number 5th pick, Gordon Winchester. It's a 6'7" forward from Mount St. Michael Academy. Played for PJ Carlissimo at Seton Hall. He was an all-city player. He led Mount St. Michael's to the CHSAA Archdiocese of New York Division II championship. Definitely had a good, decent career at Seton Hall. Helped contribute under PJ Carlissimo, and he was my 5th best player. Number 4, I like him a lot, Lamont Middleton. Lamont Middleton from Walton High School in the Bronx. He's a 6'6" forward. He can jump. He has some great hops. I like his game. Remember watching him play in the summer leagues.
Yes.
He did very well. He was a first-team All-City. He decided to go to Hartford. He was freshman of the year in the North Atlantic Conference. He played along with Vin Baker. Definitely elevated his game, and he decided to transfer to St. John's, play his last 2 seasons. Definitely a good role player. Found his way there and definitely helped St. John's. Drew his last 2 seasons there, and he played overseas, played professional basketball in Europe, Australia, and Central America. Plus, he played a little brief in the USBL.
That's awesome. How about number 3?
Move on to number 3, Alvin Rich. Alvin Rich was a 6'4" forward. Played at Springfield Gardens High in Queens. Alvin Rich had a big junior season in 1987. He led Springfield Gardens to the 1987 City Championship in the PSAL, pulling upset over Stevenson, was the best team in the state that year.
Wow.
And they pulled that upset at St. John's, led his team to the city championship, one of the best players. He was first team All-City for 2 seasons in 1987 as well as 1988. With Alvin went to Virginia Commonwealth, spent a year there. Then he went to Hiwassee Junior College in Tennessee. Then he came to and transferred to Rutgers, where he was did pretty good, became a good role player and helped contribute for their basketball program. So we give Alvin Rich his flowers, well-deserved, had a good career in high school. We leading the team to a city championship. Could ask for anything more.
It's cool.
Then
Two.
we move on to number 2, Robert Wardard. Yes, from Archbishop Malloy High School, played for the legendary Jack Curran. McDonald's All-American. Led Malloy along with Kenny Anderson and Ralph James to the 1987 CHSAA City Championship in his junior season. And then he led Malloy to another champion to the CHSAA Championship in 1988 before falling short to Tollentine. McDonald's All-American, all-time career leader in block shots at St. John's. Played in the NBA for a brief stint with the Denver Nuggets and the New Jersey Nets.
Wow, he must have. I remember the big man. Yeah, he could fill that. He could fill up that hole down there, and he was a good basketball player also.
Definitely. And then number 1. Yes, the late great Malik Sealy, a 6'8" forward out of Tollentine High School. Malik Sealy, along with at that year with sophomores Adrian Autry and Brian Reese, led not only Tollentine to a city championship, and a state championship, but they won a national championship that year. The best team in the country. Yes, he was All-American at McDonald's. Went to St. John's, played under Louis Carnesecca. That was one of the top recruiting class. Went along with Rob Jordan in that top recruiting class, and they led St. John's to an Elite Eight in 1991.
Wow.
He was second in scoring with 2,401 career points at St. John's. Consensuous second team All-American in 1992. First team All Big East in 1991 and 92. He played in the NBA, got drafted by the Indiana Pacers. Then he played with the Los Angeles Clippers, Detroit Pistons, and Minnesota Timberwolves. Malik Sealy's number 2 jersey is retired by the Timberwolves. Yes, Malik was one of my favorite players. Watch him through high school, got the pleasure to really see him grow into a phenomenal basketball player. He was getting better in the league. He was coming around, fitting well in that Minnesota Timberwolves squad. But rest in peace, Malik Sealy. He was the best player for the class of 1988.
Yes, God bless Malik.
Yes, tell me, do you remember any of these players in this great class, or share us your thoughts?
I remember being at one of the Elm Corps coordinated, Elm Corps sponsored events. I believe it was the Elite Eight. I think it was down on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And I remember, these big name players and them coming in with all this confidence and being young. And in particular, I remembered what stood out to me with Malik was he seemed very, I guess the word was mannerly and humble. He didn't come off as arrogant, and even the brief interactions at the table and his way into the gym and out of the gym wasn't a lot of fanfare. And I remember saying, wow, for this kid to be so acknowledged on a local national scale, on the national scene, other than having an incredible command of the game, I was really impressed by what I felt in regards to his personality and how he carried himself.
Yes, it was very demeanor was very well. Got a chance to really say hello, goodbye for the most part to him, but very nice person. Watch him throughout my years, going all hollows and our rivalries and going up to the Archdiocese and the CHS. I enjoyed him more at that level at Tollentine, and just see him develop and grow into his game. God bless his soul. But otherwise, we want to say a big thank you to all those who tune in and pass the word. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. At the Hoop Post, we're bringing you our previous and upcoming shows. Also follow us online, Twitter and Instagram as well. And we're going to conclude our show. We want to say thank you for all those once again to tuning in. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, Chris, just want to thank you again, because you're doing a very incredible job in terms of producing the content, the research, your delivery of the information. It's been a real joy to work with you after so many years, and continue success with all your writing. And
I appreciate that. Yes, and also it's a pleasure to work with you too.
Thank you so much. All right. Anything else? Any closing words?
No closing words. I want to say happy Easter to all you guys out there, and we're gonna come with you with another show down the road. So tune in to us, follow us online, and once again on social media and YouTube as well. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.